You let one ant stand up to us, then they all might stand up. Those puny little ants outnumber us 100 to 1. And if they ever figure that out, there goes our way of life. It's not about food. It's about keeping those ants in line. That's why we're going back! Does anybody else want to stay? Let's ride!
Hey, it's Wednesday, man. And yeah, it's been like pushing a boulder up a hill this week just because it's not stuff you want to talk about. And I'll tell you something else is I got a couple of things. You know, people heard a couple of friends of the show who got in touch with me, said, you know, man, I know it sucks to have to do these types of nights where the big story in the world is another war or something like that, and you want to, but it's got to be done sometimes. But something's different this time around. I said, "Oh, I know. This is why I want to, I want to make sure that the direction we go in is as fresh as possible. I think we should be able to have some good fun times tonight." The second half of the show is going to be reels and reactions. I got some stuff that was sent to me, some stuff I put aside that I'm just going to throw up on screen, and we're going to have some fun. That's going to be fun. I can't wait to get to that. But to get to that, we have to get through Bryan of Demon Erasers, which should be also awesome, because the last time he came on, damn, we had the Exorcist, the throwing up exorcisms. And with buckets of throw up. I don't know what the hell is going on. But Bryan's an interesting guy, and I have so many things to toss his way tonight. Don't worry. It has very little to do with vomit, but it's going to be fun, and he's going to be on with us in a little bit. And the other thing there, too, is, like I said, he's going to be by. And on the flip side tonight, we are going to have an appearance on Matt Christiansen's show. It is the first Wednesday of the new month, if you can believe it, and I can. So we got that going on. I also have another thing to say, and that is happy birthday, Nancy Lambert out there in the audience. Her birthday was actually on the 2nd, but I made a note. Belated birthday. She's 68. 68 years young, as they say. Also, for all you sponsors, monthly sponsors, and members, wherever you are, just remember, just keep looking for the member-only content. I post a lot of it. And this Friday, March 6th at 9 p.m., Sherlock Holmes Watch Party, I will send you the link, and we will all watch it together at 9 p.m. Just make sure you get some popcorn, some organic buttered popcorn. Anyway, there's that. Anything else I want to say up front? Oh, if you have any young Gen Z and older alphas out there, teenagers who want like some kind of a spring summer internship that can be done from home, if they know how to cut up vertical video and I want to see what kind of crazy intergenerational graffiti. I want to see them graffiti all over this show. Okay? That's what I want to see. I want to see little golden nuggets that are buried inside of every 2-hour episode get completely graffitied by some punk-ass kids. All right? And they could be, and like I said, if a clip goes viral and it happens to be monetized, there'll be money in it for them. They could take it all. I don't care. I want to spew all over the world clips from this show. We got a lot that's coming out, but I want more. More, damn it. So send me your snot-nosed kids who know how to edit videos and they're doing it and blowing up on TikTok for no damn reason. We're bringing in all the generations. Also tonight, and tomorrow is the running. Tomorrow is Thursday. You send a super chat on YouTube and Rumble, quite frankly, superchat.com, or Pilled I am now adding a 4th silver quarter. Now it's 4 silver quarters and 3 gold backs. 4 silver quarters, 3 gold backs, and a signed Jane Barlow Herbal Medicine Field Guide. Oh, I'm also going to throw in Moriarty's one of Moriarty's wonderful portraits of me. This is one of Aurora's favorite pictures. The full-size one hangs in Studio B on the wall. And Aurora, every time I come home and I see that Studio B's door is closed, I know what's wrong. And Aurora insists that my office door be closed whenever she misses me, because whenever she walks by the office and she looks up at the portrait of me, she gets sad. So whenever it's closed when I get home, I know that Aurora just couldn't bear to see me. So I got a lot of fun stuff for you tonight, and all you gotta do is send a super chat, a much needed one. The show needs your support. We got minutes. We've got minutes until Bryan shows up. Jasmine Crockett accuses Republicans of rigging the Democrat primary as she loses to James Tallarico, who's a real crazy fuck. That guy out there, James Tallarico, he's a little Twinkie guy who has made all types of, I don't know, appearances before in one congregation or another, talking about, he's not any better than her. He's just white, and I don't know. Maybe just a little bit more of a dedicated script reader. She might have been a little bit of a loose cannon. Anyway, she'll turn up any money, no doubt about it. She is going to show up on The View. I will put money on it. $5. I don't know how to do this. $5 on it that she has a semi-recurring slot at some point on The View, unless they just don't want the headache either, which could be the case as well. She's going to at least make one trip there to sell some kind of a book, a pamphlet, sell some Girl Scout cookies. I don't know what the fuck it is. But Jasmine Crockett, she loses her Republican primary, the Democrat primary. Dan Crenshaw with the eye patch, he lost. Goodbye, Dan. What else do we have? Who else was that? Oh, Mark Teixeira. New York Yankee great. Mark Teixeira. The switch-hitting first baseman, a 2009 champion. He has handily won a primary in Texas down there, so I have to imagine that he is going to be in the House of Representatives starting in January of 2027. Mark Teixeira. Come on, he's a representative to the House now. That must make him a little bit more accessible. I've got to get him on the show. I have to get him on the show. I need to. I'm going to sandbag him, of course. I'll talk to him about this and that, what's going on, policy this, what's your outlook on that? Okay, I have a couple of questions. I have to throw in there. Yankee questions. So we'll see what I can do on that front. The other thing I really can't stand? Things like this. I know that engagement farming and all that other stuff, engagement baiting people is just awful. It's just awful stuff that's going on out there. But it's getting so sloppy where I can see so many people that are just ripping each other off and posting the same exact thing. Completely shameless, because there really is rarely any real personalities, any people really attached to these accounts. This one right here, listen to this horrible post. It's like the flip side of the girl power stuff. On one side, you see what generations of girl power has done to girl power grade feminism has done to women, gassing them up and setting them up for failure in a completely different way than men. And on the other side of it, people are out there pushing this male nihilism shit that I really can't stand. This lone bear in the woods bullshit. And here's what they say. Correct me if I'm wrong. This was reposted. I can't tell you how many times. It says 2.1 million views, 52,000 likes, whatever. And there were other accounts, much bigger, posted the same exact thing. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I turned 38 this year, and I have realized as a man, no one cares about you. Not your wife, not your family, not your friends, not your workmates, nobody. People act like they care, but deep down they don't. You're on your own, always on your own. Fuck. The hell is that bullshit? The hell is that bullshit? I'm sure that you can feel that. I'm not saying that it's impossible for a man to feel lonely or a woman to feel lonely. But this trope right here, I see it way too much. This whole this lone wolf bullshit, and it's all engagement, and it's like nihilism pushing. I can't stand it. Your wife, your family, your friends, nobody cares about you. Can you imagine having that internal monologue? I mean, I have days as shitty as a person can have. You know? And for no other reason than just because you're fighting with yourself over something. It feels as bad as it can get. I know it can get worse. Everybody feels this shit. We go through this stuff. You have days, you have weeks, you have bad years. But this is just horrible. The horrible thing to tell yourself, you know? But that's what happens. That's what sells sometimes. It really does. Other than that, I had a few people write into me about last night's show, which I knew was going to be... Well, actually, I didn't know it was going to be that distracting. And it was. It did get pretty distracting. I had one email just came in not too long ago. Like within an hour. And I said, okay, well, if I have a couple of minutes before Bryan gets here, then I guess we can do it because it's about overseas and everything. Last night, Josh wrote into me, said, this Ryan Gable guy you had on spoke on Muslim end times prophecy as if there's one monolithic view and didn't even seem to know about the 12er Shiite Islam. It's a highly eschatological sect to the point that they don't even call their government Iranian. They call it Islamic because they believe that they're tasked with leading the Islamic world to the return of Muhammad al-Mahdi, who God hid in 874 CE. AD. And will return at the end of the world when everyone will convert to Islam. And Jesus plays a side role. He's not in any way considered a Christ or a God. And he says, Ryan Gable might be a nice guy or knowledgeable on some subjects, but that episode was embarrassing. His knowledge was nil, he said. And then, of course, he had to bring it back to Jews and Israel. I've recently converted to Catholicism, having a partly Jewish background. I'm starting to no longer feel welcome, which should be a shame if you believe in Christ. All I hear is this garbage. Jews want to be left alone on this strip of 1/10 of this land, the 1/10 the size of New York, surrounded by a larger area, all of America. That's about the size of all America wanting to harm them. Listen, I'm sure there are plenty of Israeli Jews who do want to be left to their own lives and private business on a strip of land 1/10 the size of New York. But that's not what anyone outside. That's not what anyone outside the region cares about at the moment. You know, I don't really think so. Palestinians have a personal gripe because over a few generations, they've seen what was their 1/10 the size of New York strip of land almost completely converted to a totally different nation. So you can't command them not to have a gripe. But Israel's existence alone is not what has more and more people asking questions these days. Okay. But Josh continues. He says, not to mention they are America's only ally that pulls its weight and takes risks strategically for American causes and is actually useful. Yet you allow these blood libel conspiracies from the Middle Ages to continue. Yeah, I allow them. What about Saudi Arabia? U.S. gives them more money and support than they pull zero weight. I don't give a shit. Listen, I don't know Ryan Gable's thoughts on Saudi Arabia. Plenty of Western influence there since the 20th century on, but I very equally want little to do with any of them. Outside if we're buying oil from them or something like that. But other than that, I think it's wholly appropriate for Saudi Arabia and Israel or anybody else in that region to work together or against each other. It's their prerogative because it's their part of the world. It's their home. Okay. And again, Israel would not have nearly as much criticism to face if they were standing on their own business in the Middle East on their own with regional allies, and we're not putting immense amount of political pressure on our Congress especially to direct domestic and foreign policy in their favor. That happens a lot. Now, you can say, well, an Italian delegation would be within their right to seek special favor with a country like us. They're always going over there, trying to get the best deal for them. Yeah, sure. A good trade deal, opening up a new embassy or something like that. But people are starting to get a little bit frustrated with the Israeli lobby, the ADL, anything that's tied to it, because of things like speech restrictions. You remember, anti-Semitism is not relegated to slurs. It's also can just be the difference in opinions these days. And since 2017, I think in 2017 and 2025, there were one or at least two attempts to even tie the access to FEMA disaster relief funds to whether or not a state, which is stolen from to fund FEMA, is not engaged in any kind of boycotting of Israel or anything else like that. Things like that rub people the wrong way. It's starting to pile up. And then when war gets in the way, when war becomes the big thought of the day, when you're hoping to be just concentrating on what's going on at home, people just start getting a little bit salty. And I do believe Islam is a much bigger problem than how Ryan Gable depicted it last night. Okay? It is antithetical to our founding, which was a Christian founding. You can cope with that however you like. And yeah, our Constitution does not allow you to just deport a citizen for their faith alone. It doesn't, but it also doesn't take away from the reality that Islam comes prepackaged with its own political framework built into it. And that once you commit to bringing in large numbers of Muslims into any place that's not already Islamic, it is a cultural and political time bomb. The question is, who planted the bomb? And remember, we were talking about this a couple of months ago with Jay Gulanello, when all those European politicians were, performing their anti-Semitism routines in public out there in Germany and Belgium and all that. And we were wondering why organizations who present themselves as representatives of Jewish political and civil special interests are such huge advocates of open borders and pro-migration. Why would a group worried about the persecution of the people they represent be so supportive of importing not only their chief persecutors in the world, but also a group of people who would eventually change Europe into something far less liberal and democratic? Of course, that's a question we've been asking a lot. Again, there's no syllogism there. The premise doesn't flow logically into a conclusion, and it makes a lot of people think that is evidence of an unsavory plot. And it also would be a better question to ask, who's setting Jewish people up to fail? Because especially on this show, and even Ryan Gable doesn't go anywhere near saying that Jewish people are the problem with the world. People who it's crazy. They're being set up they're getting sacrificed just like everybody else, but there's also continents being sacrificed along with them. It's a very weird thing, the kind of collateral that is being put up in this. And then Josh ends with this: I have a master's in Middle Eastern history and minor in Islamic theology. I'm not top-level expert, but you had someone with no knowledge speaking as a bit of an authority. Well, he doesn't have no knowledge. And first of all, thank you for writing in. My ultimate dream is to continue to develop a show where controversial nights like last night have people calling in, writing in, giving their 2 cents. I would rather see people flexing some muscle in that respect, testing theories, than shutting down altogether. But Ryan left me a message this morning thanking me for the time and hoping that he hit all the points that I wanted to hit. And I told him, listen, I always appreciate having a knowledgeable guest on, but we did take a very, very long detour to get to our destination, which was supposed to be a presentation of data points that show how military operations of the past and present have been ritualistically, or you can at least proposed, ritualistically planned around holy days, around celestial alignments, eclipses, phases of the moon, and in the case of Iran, Purim was going to be the most relevant point to hit last night. Had we just stuck to that, it would have been much more palatable and a lot less distracting. Okay? But he spent a little bit too much time pluralizing and trying to make equal three world religions that are in no way, shape, or form equal. Okay? And I don't think he read the room very well, knowing how most of the shows that he appears on are largely watched by non-interventionalist, anti-war Christians, people who know that nowhere in the New Testament is there any open window of opportunity for human beings to commit to a course of action that would somehow force God's hand in bringing about the final judgment. No way, shape, or form. So as far as all the reports of what's coming out of the Pentagon, of who's talking about this war in Iran being some sort of a crusade or a precursor to Jesus Christ coming back, that is not, they're not bringing Jesus back. If they think that they're invoking some kind of a spirit, some kind of a presence, it ain't Jesus. So it's putting out there. So I understand the point of saying people like Pete Hegseth or anyone in the military that's making end times related comments, even though they're just reports with no sources at this point, but it's getting around, that it's a weaponization of Christianity. But Ryan didn't take a diplomatic route to the conclusion and just called all three religions national security threats. So I don't think that he means to antagonize ever when he comes on, but that's how it hit with some folks, and I knew it would. So I get you, but I'm not going to stop doing nights like last night. We can't. I'm not going to have that part of my brain atrophy. I can't not do it. I will not do it, no matter how sticky the world gets. Let's take on a call with our good friend. He is here for the second time. The first time we spoke to him, it was on, I think it was in January, and we kicked off the new year with Bryan, Demon Erasers. It's so good to have you on, man. How the hell you feeling?
I'm not feeling hellish. I'm great.
Oh, good. Well, that's good. I'm happy to hear that.
Good.
So, well, I mean, what's been new? I mean, nothing's going on in the world or anything like that.
No, it's been pretty boring in the world, right?
Very boring.
With all the things going on. Yeah, no, nobody. There's no prophetic supposed fulfillments that are, that the government's pushing on everybody. That's not a thing at all. That Trump is telling people that he's fulfilling prophecy. Are you kidding me? Did you know that?
But listen, I saw this, and again, last night I opened up the show reading about it, and it's coming from in the past. If we were going to listen to a New York Times or a Raw Story report, Washington Post, and they're talking about something that's coming from a backdoor meeting from sources who are familiar with the subject, never names or anything. We always have to be, pump the brakes a little bit, but it seems like there's a lot of complaints about there being some end times related, stakes being placed on the operation in Iran right now. So I'm sure you have some thoughts to say about that.
The last time you had me on, I brought up the fact that Revelation probably already happened, and I'm sure a lot of your followers probably were like, "What?" And it was like kind of crazy, right? But when you start to realize that truth, then you see these kind of things that Trump's pulling, and it's so obvious that this is like a planned agenda thing that's fake. It's just so blatantly obvious when you start to really like look into what this kind of connection is. So, I'm not falling for any of it. I see it as a totally satanic push to try to get people to buy into this satanic agenda that Israel is somehow God's chosen people still. And that's a really big thing, unfortunately, that a lot of people just don't understand.
When just for people who missed the because we didn't even really go that deep into it the last time you were on, but for people who missed that, and I know that there are quite a few people who are already up on this, because when I got home, I was told that we know somebody who is of that belief that revelation already happened, and that we're in some kind of a hereafter right now. Could you put it in a nutshell what that is, revelation already happened, that theory, and how it relates to today?
Yeah, so when you okay. Let's start before I go there, because that's going to be a harder pill for a lot of people to swallow.
Okay.
Let's start with let's just start with the Jewish understanding biblically who the Jews are, and then we'll explain that, so that way we're not overwhelming too many people.
Oh, another night of Jew talk. Here it comes.
But this is a real simple one. It's a simple one. We're going to go real fast.
Let's go for it.
Yeah, we're going to go real fast.
Might as well.
We have to do the Jew. Bro, you're surrounded by a bunch of Jews. Are you Jewish even? You may even have some Jew in you. You're New Yorker.
if I were to send, you know what? I believe that everybody that sends a drop of blood to 23andMe is going to be like complimentary told that they're Jewish.
Yeah,
I feel
probably.
Like, you know, it's like
true.
It's a complimentary 1% you get.
Speaking of 23andMe, let's do this. Okay, can I share my screen actually?
I think so.
Am I able to?
Yeah, sure.
Okay,
on.
Let me see here. What percent does it give me that option?
I just put it so that multiple people can share. You should be able to share.
Okay, sharing my screen. All right. So here we go. Let's do this. Screen. This screen here. And that looks good. Let's share it. I think this is it the full screen? Can you see me switching?
I can, yes.
Okay. All right. So let's just start here real quick. I just got to express some things just so everybody knows what's going on in the agenda before we continue forward. I don't want to do too much Jew talk, but you got to understand this principle so that way you're not lost. Okay. What percentage of Jews are Ashkenazi Jews? Now I'm going to explain something to you guys real fast, is that etymology is a better keeper of history than actually, wait, let me just stop my sharing. Let me just show my face. Okay. Let me explain something first. Etymology is a better keeper of history than the narrative of history you've been told. Okay. I'm going to explain this to you very simply and you'll get it. You'll be like, oh, that makes total sense. Okay. History is his story. That's the guy over there. That's his story. That's his story. That's what history is. Okay. History is not, it is not fact, but you've been programmed to believe that history is fact. You've been told that history is fact. History is a lie. Okay. And we know it's a lie because of all the things right now. I mean, if you were to read a book in a few years from now, you'll read all kinds of stuff that you would, you know, if you read a history book in like 50 years from now about Trump, that would just be totally oblivious and not true. And we know that to be true. So everything, it's, you know, the victors write history. Okay. And you think the good guys won every time that they've got something out, like you got to be really naive. Obviously the bad guys are winning a lot. If we can see that from the Epstein files, if it's not clear enough. Okay. Bad guys win and they rewrite his story, not the story, not true story, his story. Okay. So when you understand that history is not fact, it's just a narrative. Back in the day, people called history a philosophy. It was actually considered a philosophy. And I have old books from the 1800s and they talk about history being not able to be validated. In fact, everything during the Dark Ages was pretty much lost. Okay. And I can go grab my book from the 1800s. Actually, I probably should. And I'll just read you that it talks about how we fell into total utter decay and during the Dark Ages and nobody knew what any history was true at all. They completely lost track of his story because his story was so radically wild and out there. They just didn't know it was true. And so anyways, the history got rewritten. And the crazy part is that it's more important to understand is that etymology is a better keeper of history. Okay. Right now I could tell you so-and-so got Epsteined. Okay. They got Epsteined. Like we know somebody, oh yeah, they got Epstein. You would know what I'm talking about, right?
Yes.
You would assume they got sexually blackmailed of some kind.
Or Clintoned.
Or Clinton. There you go. Exactly. You would know what we mean. Okay. Now, in the future, what's going to happen is if this thing becomes more prominent, everybody's going to start saying the word Epstein. But Epstein is a hard word to say. Epstein. Okay. But in different accents in different regions, it'll become Epstein, and then it'll be steened. It'll just become steened. Okay. They got steened. Okay. And so when they become steened, we will know that that means to be sexually blackmailed. And that will be a future etymological shift that happens in society. These kind of same things have happened throughout society forever and ever and ever. Now, history will tell you a different story, but it's hard for us to change etymology. Like, how can I get you to say, hey, stop saying Epstein. You better stop it. You better not use that slogan. I can't. But I can write a history book and I can say, hey, everybody, this is what the history is. And y'all believe it, even though it's a bunch of nonsense. And if I'm the one in control, what are you going to do about it? I'm the one writing the books, teaching the kids, right? So in the same sense, Epstein is a very good example of how they've manipulated our school books. A prime example that Epstein's girlfriend, Ghislaine Maxwell's father, was involved in writing our history books, right? And everybody's kind of like figured this stuff out now. At this point, we start to see, okay, so the narrative of history is a lie, but etymology has a better fact, okay? Now, I had to point out etymology before I explain this next part, so that way you understand the relevancy of etymology. Okay, so now let's go to this screen here. And here you're going to want to ask, what percentage of Jews are Ashkenazi Jews? There's two kinds of Jews. There's Shemitic Jews and there's Ashkenazi Jews, okay? Now, it says approximately 70-80% of the worldwide Jewish population are Ashkenazi. However, if you read down a little bit further, you'll find out, that during World War I or whatever, it was up to, what's it say right here? 70, and it gets all the way down to 90% of the world were Jews. It actually gets up to 94% in some of these instances. If I clicked on this one, it'll tell you 93 or 94%. 93, is it? Yeah, 93 or 94, maybe 94%. Oh, there's too many numbers on this page, whatever. Anyways, so either way, what it is a lot of the Jews are 90. It's like 100%. They tell you it's 90. It's not 90. It's 100% of the Jews today are Ashkenazi. You don't come back from a 93 percentile, or look, population of Jewish was 92% Ashkenazi, okay, in 1930s. Okay, you don't come back from that kind of number. When you get to 92%, the other percent of whatever that is that's left over basically ceases to exist at that point. It just doesn't work that way in genetics and how we mix. So that 92% is now 100%. All the Jews are Ashkenazi Jews, whether they say they're Ashkenazi or not. They're Ashkenazi. But then you got to ask yourself, well, what is an Ashkenazi Jew? Okay, and so if we go here to ancestry.com, you can say people of the Ashkenazi ancestry. We're on 23andMe.com's website, guys. By the way. From Southern Europe, Western Asia, 2,000 years. Then the Middle Ages, the Jewish people living in Southern Europe moved, and they primarily settled in the northeast of France and Western Germany, blah, 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 blah. Okay, the word Ashkenazi is thought to have come from Ashkenaz, a descendant of Noah named in the Hebrew Bible. That's why they're called Ashkenazi, because they're from the descendants of Ashkenaz in the Bible, okay? You got that, right? Pretty simple to follow right now, right?
I do.
So all of them are from Ashkenaz. Now, let's look at the Noah's descendants. Here's Noah. He has 3 children, Japheth, Shem, and Ham. Shem has a child, Arphaxad, Sarah, Eber. See Eber right here? This is where we get the Eberu people, the people of Hebrew. It comes from Eberu.
And of course, we all know his great nephew, Ebert. He was one of Siskel and Ebert. Right?
Yes, of course. Yeah, absolutely.
We're
not giving false history here at all, guys.
Movie reviewer. There you go.
Yeah, he'll be reviewed for sure. So Eber is the Eberus, and he was also probably Jewish, I'm betting. But anyways, side note, this is what it came down to. And then we have Jacob, okay? Jacob, who becomes Israel. All right. So Jacob is a descendant of Eber, the Eberus, from Shem. This is where we get the word anti-Shemitic. Anti-Shemitic from the line of Shem. But if you look at this line of Shem, you'll notice there is not the word Ashkenaz. No. Ashkenaz is not from the line of Shem. Ashkenaz is from the line of Japheth. Okay? Japheth says Ashkenaz, son of Gomer, son of Japheth, descendant of Noah, the brother of Shem. Does this make sense?
I'm looking at it. Yeah.
Yeah, Ashkenaz, right there. So Ashkenazi Jews, who are all the Jews today, are not Shemitic. They're not from the line of Shem. Not even remotely close. So this is a big problem because we've got the Sephardic Jew and the Ashkenazi Jew. They want to debate about the thing. But the reality is Ashkenazi Jew are not from the line of Shem. Okay, they're from the line of Japheth. It would be anti-Japhetic. And if you want to get into old maps, look at this. Ashkenazi map. Germany. Let's see this thing. So if we look at these old maps here, there's some fascinating maps. I don't know how well you can see this, but this is the region right before Germany got taken over by the Ashkenazis. Sorry. The bad guys, we'll just say. Ashkenaz, Germany, this place right here, this is Austria. This is see this colored part on the map? This is where the Sephardic Jews were hanging out, and then the Ashkenazi Jews that wiped them out took over all of this region. And this is where Hitler kind of came into power. He came out of an area that they renamed on maps to Ashkenazi, Germany. Isn't that fascinating? Because you got to ask yourself, that's really weird. They renamed this stuff Ashkenazi, and that's exactly the area where the Ashkenazis came from.
Okay.
Isn't that fascinating?
It is very fascinating. So I mean, what are we setting up as a foundation for them now that we laid down the groundwork? Where are we taking all of this now prerequisite knowledge that we needed? What's the conclusion?
Okay, so the conclusion here is that everything you've been told is basically a lie.
Yes,
because again, the history books rewrote everything. The victors won. They told you that it was the Nazi. The people, the Ashkenazis, were killing off the Sephardic Jews. That's what was going on with a lot of that stuff. And they were being sacrificed. And so the Sephardic Jews are no more. They don't exist anymore. Completely were ended entirely, if there even were any, during the Hitler man, the little H man. So the reality is it's very prevalent in the etymology. Now they rewrote the history books, but you can see they're called Ashkenazis. That's the region they took over. They also had another name that they went by, which was National Zionists, which stands for National N-A Zionist, Z-I, Nazi, Nazi. But they told you that the Nazis were National Socialists. N-I-N-A-S-O would be National Socialists. But they say, oh, no, it's German. German, sometimes they can use a Z-I to represent S-O, right? See, that's the thing. You've been told a narrative that was not the narrative. The National Zionist movement was the Ashkenazis that took over Germany to bring about the state of Zion. What happened after the war? The state of Zion was adopted and established. This is a place created by people that are not descendants. They are, what we talk about in Revelation 2:9. You know what that says? For those that don't know, Revelation 2:9 says the Jews that claim they are Jews but are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. Do you know that verse?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, and then Revelation 3:9, it says the Jews that say they are Jews but they do lie. Okay, this is what we're there. It's blatantly in your face.
Well, let me ask you. Let me ask you this, because I always, whenever something like this pops up, I'm curious as to what someone thinks about it, because I've heard like Myron Fagan's version of events, and who Hitler was. What the real story. There's a lot of people out there who are, hey, Hitler did nothing wrong. Hitler was right. Look, the people are trying, validating him. Then there are others who are taking stances who are still contrarian against what the official story of World War II was, but saying no. Don't go that far. He was carrying water. He was a useful dupe. He was, this and that, the other. So I wonder, with everything you just laid out there, because what you're insinuating is Nazi complicity.
Yeah.
Who was the little mustache man?
Okay, so little mustache man. The thing is, we don't know his father, right? That's what they tell you. But it's more likely that we knew his father, and his father was Ashkenazi father. And that's why they don't want you to know who his father was. And they say, oh, we don't know who his dad is. We just don't know. Did you know that there was a Jewish regiment inside the army? There was a Jewish regiment.
Yeah.
And that's something they don't want to tell people about, and you got to ask yourself, well, okay, why was it this? Now, the narrative can be spun all different ways, again, but history is not as good of a history keeper as etymology. And that's why they stopped teaching it to our children a long time ago, so that we forget the words. Because again, terms based on people's experiences with words, they stick, So a lot of times what was happening was there was a lot of degeneracy going on in that region. And the little H man basically was put in place as a puppet to pawn off of the current distrust of everyone and everybody that was turning against the people. And he was stepped in and said, I'll be your leader. And he played to the tune that the people wanted to hear. Does that make sense? So it was like he was a figure put in place by the Ashkenazis in order to guide the society into giving people what they want. I mean, he moved people. He didn't actually go through like murdering people more than anything. He didn't want to. He moved them. He was trying to move them into the state of Zionism. That's what he was doing. He was trying to do that. Now there was elements of it who was involved in sacrificing people, which he did figure this out. And his right-hand man, Heinrich Himmler, you can read about Heinrich Himmler. And you can find out that Heinrich Himmler or whatever believed in dwarves and giants and fairies and Nephilim and Thor. And there's a reason why on the Nazi SS rings there was a depiction of Thor. They put Thor on their rings, but people don't know that. And you're like, wait, why did they put Thor on there? Like, why was that on some of the Nazi rings and stuff?
Well, we know.
Well, because they were channeling demons.
Oh, it was, and of course, this is a lot more well known than you think these days. And we've also had a lot of conversations about this whenever Antarctica pops up, this always pops up there too, because we know the Thule Society was very active down there, and the Nazi and the Vril link and all that stuff.
Yep.
And of course, it gets back around to what the foundations for modern day space programs and what so-called UFOs and aliens are. We know that these really are not mutually exclusive dots on a grid, that they actually do connect if you're going to build a narrative or a history, like you're saying. So I'm glad I asked, because I'm curious as to where else you placed the pieces on all this board.
Yeah, it's okay. So once you understand that the thing is that what we believe, the narrative of what we believe is quite possibly skewed. I got to show you one more thing because this is very fascinating too, and then we'll talk about other stuff. But so like this is like the pagan origins of the infamous Nazi Black Sun. Now, if you notice, this eagle is on. There's a Nazi eagle on a bunch of stuff, but it's on all our stuff too. What makes you think we're any different than that, guys? Like, I mean, you got to fool yourself into believing these things. They're not the same. Again, look, this is Thor. This is Thor's depiction on these SS rings. Okay. This is on there for a reason. Like, it continued this way. And what I would say is what they were doing is Hitler moved a bunch of the satanic occult structures right before Hitler came into power. They actually did this. So it wasn't him directly doing it. But they moved a bunch of things like the gates of Bergen, what is it? The Brandenburg Gates. This stuff is so occultic. And if you don't recognize, there's a bunch of like, there's Hercules is up here, the snake person, there's a bunch of weird symbolism. And then there's the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, and then the woman, victory with the eagle on the crown. And you're like, well, that's the same depiction stuff that we see on American things. Like, it's the same stuff. Like, it's the same, the 4 horsemen, all of that stuff. I mean, like, if you just type in statue of George Washington, everything in that depiction is right here. It's on the same depiction. And if you see the statue of George Washington right here, he's wearing Roman sandals.
Oh,
and
I've been there. I've been there. The national.
Oh, really?
I've seen that one at the National Museum.
Yep. And the little man behind him, that's Adam holding an apple in the defiance of God. And if you look on the side of this statue, you'll see that there is Hercules, who's also on the gates, the Brandenburg Gates. So like on this side, this is Hercules, which is a dead baby, and a baby holding a snake, making friends with it. Okay, that's little Hercules. And the other side is the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. And then if you look up George Washington, like you'll see that he's like on the coins and everything. So you got to be like, George Washington, statue of Zeus. So if you just look at the statue of Zeus, bro, this is literally, it's Zeus. Here, let me just watch this. Look, this is Zeus. But people don't recognize this pattern. If you look at the pattern, look, the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, again, Apollyon, again, the angel victory. Okay, again, the Roman sandals, the 4 lions, the little eagle. It's Zeus. It's Zeus again. So people think that statue of George Washington is George Washington. No, it's not. It's Zeus. Look, this is the eagle. People think that eagle represents American eagle. No, it doesn't. It represents Zeus. We've been putting Zeus's head on coins with eagles for centuries. Okay, this is Zeus with his eagle. Look at that. And then look, Zeus, coin, eagle head. People told you that it was like it was George Washington's head on the coin with the eagle. No, it's not. It's Zeus. It's always been Zeus. It's right in front of your face. You've just not noticed it. Look, Zeus, eagle, Zeus, eagle, Zeus, eagle, Zeus, eagle. For centuries, we've been putting Zeus with the eagle on the coins. This is the representation of Zeus. Okay, this is false deity. This is a Nephilim god. This is the one in control. Zeus turns himself into an eagle to oversee these things.
Well, but Brian, I gotta say, I'm looking at a silver Washington quarter right now, and it looks very much like George Washington.
Yeah, but that's the thing. That's not George. It's an embodiment.
It's an effigy.
Zeus.
Effigy, essentially.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
It represents Zeus. That's why there's an eagle on it. It's always been Zeus. It's always been that same sort of system of control. And so, but we just don't recognize these things because they're so prevalent in front of our faces. And so it just seems like, okay, that can't be possible what all that is. But no, that's what it is. They're telling us right there what it is. And the thing that Hitty figured out, little Hitty figured out this. Actually, wait, I got to show one more screen. So this is the thing he figured out right here. So you see this? This is kill the human, kill them, offer their blood at the top of the pyramid to the demon god, and then eat their flesh, drink their blood, and gain sacred knowledge. This is what he figured out, okay? So all that stuff got moved to Germany. The gates, the Brandenburg gates got moved to Germany, or created in Germany. The gates of Satan, the gates of Lucifer, the throne of Zeus got moved to Germany. The Ishtar gates got moved to Germany. All of these were portal gates. They're portals to channel demons through ritual sacrifice. This is the pattern. This is why we were killing people at the pyramids, which, by the way, we were killing people everywhere there's pyramids. Everywhere you see pyramids, we were human sacrificing people. So if you see pyramids anywhere, that's a human sacrifice ritual. And we were doing that. The pyramids at Egypt, the pyramids of Peru, like all of them. And people are deceived.
So you think that because I mean, obviously when you talk about Egypts and the ziggurats and all that stuff, we know that it's more openly available knowledge about it, the kind of bloodletting that was happening over here in the Western Hemisphere in Central and South America.
But they don't want you to know about it over there.
Exactly. That's why I'm asking, because there's still a lot of debate about what the function of the pyramids actually were. Were they spiritual conduits? Were they, producing energy? Were they communication devices? What kind of magical? But you're saying that on the inside,
they were demonic portals for sacrificing humans and channeling demons. That's what they were. All of them.
Okay.
All of the portals were. And it's very obvious when you look into this stuff and you start to see it. Here, I'll just share my screen again. Look at this. Because again, you mentioned the word ziggurat, right? So we've got what other word sounds like ziggurat? Well, how many words sound like ziggurat? Can you think of any other words that sound like ziggurat?
It's probably good. Maybe it's going to be obvious, but I don't know.
It is going to be very obvious once you understand it. So we've got pyramids, and on the dollar bill, there's a pyramid, right? But there's a specific pyramid on the dollar bill. It's an unfinished pyramid. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So what story in the Bible do you have an unfinished structure? Do you know?
No, I don't know.
The Tower of Babel.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. That was not allowed to be finished.
Yep. So now you understand why they do this kind of thing and the Illuminati stuff that they do all the time, all that. What do you think they're saying? They're saying we're finishing the Tower of Babel.
There was going to be a triangle capstone on the Tower of Babel, or is this once again just like Zeus head, George Washington head, symbolic and effigy?
I mean, we don't know, but I will tell you right now that the original Tower of Babel is what's on your dollar bill. Like it's there on the dollar bill. That is the original Tower of Babel. And so that was the idea. It was a pyramid of some structure, and it was unfinished. It went unfinished. And so when you understand that the pyramids went unfinished, look, I can show you this. Watch. So this is the unfinished Tower of Babel. And that's why they kept building all the pyramids all over the world, because this one didn't get finished, and then it spread to the rest of the world. What's it say right there? Annuit. Sepotis. Annuit is where we get the word announcement. Sepotis is where we get the word celebration. Novus is novice is new. Ordo is order. And seclorum is sector orum. Seclorum, like the total sector. So the world. announce celebration of birth of the Novus Ordo Seclorum, the New World Order. It says it on your dollar bill.
Yeah.
But people are so naive. They're like, no, the New World Order is coming. Satan, that's going to bring about the New World Order. No, dude, you're living in it. You've been living in it. It's on the dollar bill. And in fact, you're the centerpiece of a giant ritual sacrifice. That's what that's why your dollar bill never changed. Because what were they doing at the Tower of Babel? They were sacrificing people to get into the gate and the permeation of death into the spiritual realm. They were trying to get into that death realm. Okay? They would sacrifice the people and kill them and get sacred knowledge. That's why there's pyramids all over the earth, because when God separated them, they continued to build their towers of Babel all over the world. Ziggurat, okay? That's what they called them. Ziggurats and pyramids, okay? They're very similar things, but how many words sound like ziggurat? Not a whole lot, but there's one that you will really easily recognize when I say ziggurat and I say cigarette.
Oh, come on.
Bro,
Cigarette. Wow.
Cigarette and ziggurat, bro. What are the papers? What are the papers that you put your cigarettes in? What do you roll them in? What is that paper they call them? They call them zigzags, bro. It's called a zigzag paper. Isn't that fascinating?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think they get the word zigzag? Zigzag comes from the word ziggurat. Do you know? And do you look at this? Pyramid, Kingston, pyramid, Kingston, again, pyramid, black, a pyramid, Parliament, pyramid, skull, which were in the base of the pyramids, Corso, which again, it's a pyramid. Misty were the mystics that ran the pyramid. Cool is the ancient derivation for ghoul, which is another name for demon or ghost. Petra is where there's some pyramids. Salem is Jerusalem, which again was a sacrifice to the pyramids. There is the pyramids in the background. It's not about the camel, it's about the pyramids, brother. Look at this. Why do you think they emphasize the A on the old Marlboro logo? Because it's not about the Marlboro. It's about the pyramid. This is not a chevron. This is a pyramid. Look on here. It's just that. You just see the little pyramid outline. Pyramid, 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 pyramid. You get Lucky Strike, which is Loki, the god that also happens to have a pyramid. Inky, the god of chaos and mischief, which comes from, Inky, the sacrificial god. Okay.
Every cigarette, like
bro, they're all pyramids. They're all homage to portals. Okay, these are portals, Newport, okay, rings of Saturn, or this is a portal, the sun, which again, if you just type in human sacrifice, you'll see that it's all, and then like, bro, when you open the cigarette packs, a lot of them, the top of the pyramid comes right off. You open it just like the top of the Tower of Babel. Look, see the break? Just like the Tower of Babel.
Oh, shit.
I didn't know what I was getting myself into. So,
bro,
first of all, if you're a smoker, start rolling your own cigarettes. That's number one, right?
No, don't roll anything. It's all zigzag, bro. It's human sacrifice ritual, bro. They did it. Sacrifice didn't continue. It didn't end. It just evolved. It evolved, and you've been deceived. Okay, who owns all the cigarette brands? Do you know who owns them all? A bunch of Jews. Oh no, did I say it? I said it. You're right, because they are continuing to sacrifice you. You are naive. You're naive and you're being taken advantage of. So if you feel like smoking right now, you might feel a little bit sick knowing this information. You're a human sacrifice ritual.
What about hookah? What about hookah? Like if you're packing a hookah, they can't get you there.
Bro, it's all bad, dude. All of it's bad. I mean, we can try to justify the means, but you can just listen to your spirit. It's in your spirit. Like check this out. So like if we just go right here, like okay, so I'm gonna go like this. So we'll type in Aztec human sacrifice. Okay. So look, if you notice, if you look at the images, they offer their god, they offer the sacrifice to the sun. Notice how the sun is right there? And look at this. Oh, there's the sun god. What do you think all this is? Like you see the circle on the Lucky Strike? That's the god Loki. And this says American spirit. The American is Amaru Khan. It's the spirit of Amaru Khan. Amaru Khan is the demon. It's the dragon god that they were sacrificing people to. The spirit of Amaru. And that's the sun. It's like at the if you look at these pyramids, bro, just type in this. Amaru. Okay? Amaru. This guy right here. Amaru. Quetzalcoatl, Kukulkan, the plume serpent. Okay? Amaru. This is the serpent or the dragon. America is Amaru Ka. It means the land of Amaru. Ka is the Inca word for land. Amaru Ka means America. It means the map. What you think a map maker, Amerigo Vespucci, came here and named two continents after himself because he made maps? Bro, he was a map maker. He named it after what it was called here. It was already called the land of the dragon. It was called the land of the serpent. You see this? Dragon. It was called Amaru-Ka, the land of the dragon. That's what he named it. So this is the feathered serpent. And you can just type in Amaru-Ka temple or Amaru temple dragon. They don't want you to see this stuff. Ziggurat, I guess.
I want to throw, because you already brought up. I want to switch the portal real quick, because you brought up a portal both in the pyramids and everything else. I want to play something for you, but let's. I want you to. I don't want to cut you off right here at the end of this. So go right ahead.
Well, it's the same. You'll see it at the base of the pyramids. You'll see the dragon at the base of the pyramids. Let's type in Quetzalcoatl, or how about dragon pyramid. You'll see at the base of the steps, you'll see these dragon heads at the base of the pyramids. This is Amaru. This is Quetzalcoatl right here. This is Kukulkan. This is the plumed serpent. The plumed serpent at the step. They killed them, chopped their heads off, run them down the stairs. This is Amaru, the spirit of Amaru. So when you see the cigarettes, that's Amaru all over the place. Okay, he's got different names he goes by, but it's all the same thing.
Can't even have a smoke. Can't even have a smoke.
Bro, no, you don't want it. You don't want the smoke when you know that you're a burned offering, bro. This is Amaru Khan's spirit. Bro, this is literally what you're dealing with. And it's on all the stuff. It's all the cigarettes are like this, by the way. It's not just cigarettes. It's like everything. Like, I mean, here, I'll just draw this for you. Look. So like, you know the little the Juul logo? Do you know what that looks like?
Yeah, remember.
The little vape?
Yeah,
the little vape.
My buddy Matt was smoking Juuls to get off of cigarettes.
Yeah, so check this out. So Juul, this is the Juul logo. It looks kind of like this. It looks like it's Juul. Bro, let me finish the drawing for you. This is what that really is. It's a little dude on his knees. It's a stick man on his knees, and you're looking forward at him about to get his head chopped off, because that's what they would do. That's the Juul logo. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but wait.
Like that's his hand.
Yeah, so, but the logo has the actual the thing up top. Hold on.
No. The logo doesn't have that on top. I'm just showing you because it's cut off. All you see is the dude's hands and his two knees.
But where'd you come up with that?
Bro, it's obvious in all of their stuff. Everything, when you look at every cigarette company, you look at every single thing, you'll be like, wow, that's like, it's very much, that's a little dude on his knees with his two hands, because that's what they would do before they cut your head off. They'd put people on their knees and chop their head off. Like, it's literally your
Bryan.
That's what that is.
You have been blowing my mind all night tonight so far, but I have to say, if I look at that thing, it is not obvious to me that is a guy on his hands and knees about to get his head chopped off.
You know, they're it's a dude bowing, bro. That's bowing down. That's what this bowing. It's their knees. That's what that is.
When you complete the picture, I can see what you're saying, but. It seems like I don't know how. Well, you know what?
They call it plausible deniability. That's how magic works, bro. They want you to be like, that's not really what it is. You know, don't worry about it. It's not it at all.
Well, hold on. So let's start wrapping up on this then, because listen to this. Ross Coulthart. I don't know who the hell he is, but I think he just likes the sound of his own accent. He claims that the U.S. Forest Service is guarding portals in nature, and that he has seen one. Now, I don't believe that he's seen one. I don't know what I believe about him seeing one, but I do believe that there are portals in nature. And I do believe that it's not just in the forests, but I think that I take a very special note of the work that that's been done with the Missing 411
that's
series.
Fascinating.
It's very fascinating stuff, and it just makes me wonder. But this is it's from News Nation. I stumbled upon it a couple of days ago. Listen to this. I want to hear your thoughts.
But just one thing I want to throw out here, and I want to cause a bit of mischief with the US government. I've just been somewhere in the United States where I know there is another portal, and I know the United States knows about it. And I was there just the other day. And guess what? It's got a big fence around it. Lots of security signs. It's supposedly US Forest Service. But you know what? It's not. And it's supposedly ancient ruins of tribal art. And you know what? It's not. What's happening is that the United States is using the US Forest Service and claims of the protection of archaeological relics to keep secret from the public a portal on US soil.
Go ahead. So what do you think about this?
Where's the portal take him to?
Oh, I don't know. I don't. Doesn't sound like he jumped in. But you know, just on the topic in it of itself, naturally occurring. Of course, people would say that to open a portal, there needs to be some sort of a. You can also go through some kind of a ritual to open a portal to remove that veil. But you know, long time ago, I started hearing about the Earth and its energy, you know, energy meridians and grids and all that stuff. That kind of it's almost like an interdimensional elevator or escalator or something like that. So I just wonder what your thoughts are on this. If you've done any diving.
Yeah. So there's actually listed in I believe it's in that there's gates of hell in a second Esdras, which is a text that's been removed from the Bible. But it's fascinating. Second Esdras talks about the portals or the doorways to hell. That there is about that. He said he asks him, and he's like, "Do you know where all the portals or the doors to hell are?" God does, or an angel does. Sorry. And so you got to ask yourself, like, okay, so wait, there's doors to hell on our earth somewhere that are located in the sea. He actually says I think he says there's doors to hell in the sea. And so that's fascinating because you're like, well, how are we have doors in hell to somewhere in the sea? Like what? So, you know, when you see that there is some way to get into some spiritual world. Secondarily, that I mentioned the Tower of Babel. That is also the first original kind of portal into heaven. They were trying to access a portal into the heavenly dimension. And God said, I have to stop them so they can't do this, and then divided the world. He didn't say I have to stop them because they couldn't do it. He stopped them because they could do it. Do you see what I'm saying? Like God divided them because they were getting to achieving some kind of portal doorway, right? And so the people continue to make their little portals, which is why you see pyramids all over the earth. They're trying to recreate their towers of Babel, and they were using somehow intertwined into human sacrifice to create the spiritual manifestation of whatever it was that they were bringing about. But you know, that's I think obviously some kind of perverse thing that they were trying to deem their way into this sort of portal dimension. I don't know if they were going into the dimension of hell by doing this kind of murderous sacrifice and then speaking to the demons that are trapped in the realm of hell. Like they were opening portals and talking to Azazel, which is fascinating. I think they were actually, which is why the word Azul is a word in the Aztec creation. It means blue, right? Azul in Spanish is blue, but it's derived from Azazel, and they were going into like some kind of spiritual world and getting information. This is where the Aztecs got their perfect calendar from. This is where they got their technology from. And so a lot of people are opening these portals and speaking to these entities trapped in hell, trapped in Hades, or maybe they can see through them. I don't know if they can actually go into these portals. I think the portals are something that only spiritual things can go through, potentially. I don't think it's something that physical people can go through. These are spiritual portals.
So you think, as far as the whole idea of there being a naturally occurring and opening one, you don't think this would be natural? This would have to be opened. This would have to be
opened. It would have had to have somebody would have opened it, doing some kind of ritual, murdering somebody, creating. And I don't know if the portals can stay opened or if they get shut. I know that there's Aleister Crowley talked about opening a portal to bring in Hilarion, which is, you know, a bunch of interesting stuff that they talk about. But either way, it's like they said that the portal stayed open and they couldn't shut it potentially. But I don't know if that's true. I don't know if those portals stay open. I think they're only open temporarily, and I think that they're only open to speak to these entities. And I think you could speak to them without the portal, but I think the portal of whatever they do is like kind of like a calling card to them. Like if you're willing to murder some people, the demons can smell blood in the spiritual realm. And if you're murdering, you know, 10,000 people, they're going to be like, oh, this person's, these people are godless. What do they want? Let's go give them let's go say what's up. They obviously don't believe in the God of Yahweh because they're murdering people. They don't believe in the God of love and life. So you want to serve us and murder a bunch of people. We see that you're casting souls out of their bodies. Hey, what do you want? You want some information? And then they exchange information. And this has been the process that's been going on for centuries. You kill the human as an offering to the demon god in exchange for sacred knowledge. That image I showed you, that's what Hitty figured out. Little Hitty figured out, hey, if we kill a bunch of people, that's why it's called the Holocaust, bro. It's not called imagine if we called 9/11 the sacrifice. You know that the word Holocaust means the sacrifice, right? Like that's
By
what
fire.
the word, yeah, it actually means a sacrifice. Like imagine if we in our language were like, oh yeah, 9/11, oh yeah, the sacrifice. Yeah, the sacrifice. Oh yeah, the sacrifice. Bro, they're telling you what it was. It was a ritual sacrifice. That whole thing was sacrificing a certain, they could get an amount of people that they sacrificed. It doesn't matter whether you're a Jew or anybody. They just wanted to sacrifice a bunch of people to gain sacred knowledge, and they got it. People think that Hitler won or that he lost. No, he won. Okay, he won, and he inseminated into our culture. He moved to freaking Venezuela or whatever, or down south there, and lived out the rest of his lives. Argentina even said that there was a bunch of Hitler stuff. Argentina dude said, yeah, Hitler lived here and he had 2 daughters. Okay, so it's like been declassified. He didn't lose. Like, and it's silly to think that he lost. No, they achieved what they wanted, which was national Zionism. They created the state of Israel. They created all this stuff that's going on. Like that was their goal. And they opened portals and got sacred information and knowledge. And they've been continuing to get information and knowledge by continuing to sacrifice you. Whoever owns that cigarette company owns a whole lot of other companies, don't they? Why? Because all of you people that have been smoking and being killed are sacrifices that are being offered. This is why they put poisons in your food.
Well,
this is why they do all this stuff.
Let me throw this one last thing out there too, because you want to talk about the end of World War II, or at least the official end, where the book was closed on it. And then we have Paperclip. We have we're talking about portals being opened up here, and how it could, the U.S. Forest Service, it started making you wonder, okay, well, if Bryan from Demon Erasers is right, then perhaps somebody said, hey, let's open up a portal in a very remote forest somewhere and make sure that people can stay the hell out of it, like Jackson Lab or something in Acadia in Maine. But lately there's been a lot of news getting around of space scientists, MIT plasma physicist, Caltech astrophysicist, a retired Air Force general associated with UFO programs and research, all within weeks of each other. It could just be weird, but they're untimely ends, murders, and people are wondering what the hell's going on with our space scientists. And as you know, I mean, I just want to know if you had picked up on any of the news of these untimely deaths, especially our space programs. They have been so, fundamentally rooted in occult practices, and Jack Parsons, the OTO. And so, have you heard about this, and some closing thoughts about the space program and what could be some weird murders?
I looked into it when you mentioned it, but but I'll tell you that I didn't know too much about it, so I don't know enough to speak on it. But I will tell you that it is very obvious that these people, I mean, everything related to our science program is very heavily tied to the occult. People just are naive if you think otherwise. You think they're all playing with science. No, the people high up are involved in a bunch of ritualistic practices. In fact, I know a guy that's even involved in AI. Somebody's mom was telling me about how they were concerned about her son, who works in like the Silicon Valley area and needed to escape. And she was like, why do you need to escape? She's like, just quit your job. And he was like, you don't understand. We're doing rituals and conjuring entities and getting motivation to create the AI. And she's like, okay, so quit. Like she said, he said he was doing drugs and conjuring entities. And so she's like, well, stop doing drugs and quit. Like, just sleep. And he's like, I can't. And she's like, what are you talking about? I can't. Like, bro, this is like, because he's probably involved deeper than she even understands, because he's involved in a bunch of ritual magic stuff where they're probably drinking children's blood. How can you not just quit your job if they're doing rituals and smoking drugs and you participated? You can just be like, okay, well, I'm done, guys. I'm done with the drugs. I don't want to be a part of it. I'm out. Like, why can't he just say, I'm out? He needs to escape. Like, bro, escape while you can, man. Like, just get away from all of it, because the reality is you can be forgiven by the Lord. Whatever you participated, they probably made you drink children's blood. You didn't know it until it was too late, because that was how they're getting these doorways and these portals and giving people inspiration and dreams. They're involving people in this ritualistic practices that are creating these sort of trauma spaces, that are creating this caveat that allows demons to portal into your mind. Okay. And so they've been doing this for centuries. And if people are involved in the space program and all these other programs, I mean, like, dude, the dude that invented Jack Parsons at JP Laboratory, and the other guy that invented NASA was a Nazi scientist. Okay. He was a Nazi scientist, came over in Operation Paperclip. So, like, literally, like, this is all technology that was given to these people by participating in perverse, wicked, evil, ritualistic things, and then getting visions and dreams to give answers. So whoever these people are, these scientists, if they're somewhat involved in this and they're starting to see the light because people are exposing it right now, it's becoming pretty big and mainstream. Yeah, they might start killing some of the people off, because they're like, whoa, you're a big piece to the puzzle here. And now that you know that it's a bunch of satanic pedos that are literally running this program, running this world by sacrificing children and getting ideas, we're going to end you, because now you now know. So that would make sense to me. I mean, if they don't have the Spirit of the Lord following them and protecting them, I mean, what else are you going to do?
What else are you going to do? Bryan from Demon Erasers. Hey, listen, you have a very, very active and very fun Instagram account. I have, I do have a broadcast schedule. I know that you're also on YouTube. You stream throughout the week. You're also always appearing on other people's shows. Let everybody know where to find you next.
Yeah, just Demon Erasers on YouTube. And Instagram, or you can go to demon-erasers.com. I think I have links to all my stuff through there. And if you want to know about the Nephilim and all that stuff, ancientangels.com is my movie. You can download it, support me, whatever. But yeah, just Demon Erasers. That's pretty much it on everything. And X, I'm trying to get more popular on there too, but I haven't figured out the algorithm.
I haven't figured out shit either. If you want to figure it out, you just let me know, man. You let me know. All right?
All right, sweet.
Dude, this was awesome talking to you again. I would love to have you back on sometime in the spring. Enjoy the rest of your winter, though.
Absolutely. Thanks, man.
All right, have a good one.
Talk to you later.
There you go.
All right, bye.
Yo, ladies. Yo. I mean, come on now. 2 nights. This week has been nuts. This week has been nuts. In a good way. In a good way. It's been great. What do you think we were going to have a break? No, we went deeper down the rabbit hole. So there's sometimes you just have to let yourself get dragged by the current and just kind of go into that float. And sometimes you spin around, you hit your head on a rock, but as long as you just keep floating, go with the current, just float. And I had a great time tonight. Well, a lot of stuff. I like how it all came pulled together. A lot of stuff I've heard for the first time. I did not know that all of the cigarettes, every last cigarette company. Listen, if you really want to be a bastard now, you're hanging out with your friends or somebody, they pull out a cigarette, and you say, it's the Jews, right? Well, I'll just change. I won't smoke Marlboro. Doesn't matter. It's all of them. Every last one. What about American Spirit? That's the worst. Don't even go near that one. In fact, don't even walk into CVS. Whatever you do, don't do it. Well, thankfully, I don't smoke cigarettes. I don't smoke cigarettes. And it's been months since I've even had a cigar. Because it's not even, it's not cold out. It's not warm outside. But tobacco is an incredible plant, though. I would not say, do not be, I don't know, don't throw that whole plant out. It's miraculous in many ways. I'm learning more and more about that, not just from a smoking standpoint. But remember, ladies and gentlemen, going to get to your super chats in a little bit. YouTube, Rumble, Gold Pills, and quite frankly, superchat.com, which is the most direct way to support the show. And I'm going to be giving away 4 silver quarters, which now we know is not George Washington, but Zeus. So you're going to have 4 satanic silver quarters tomorrow sent to you on Friday. And then also the 3 gold backs. So you're getting silver and gold and a wonderful portrait from Molly Ardian. and all that. So I'm going to read your super chats in a second. Oh, and before I do that, I just want to thank my sponsor for the evening. Oh, and you don't want to go anywhere because we're going to do the super chats. I'll keep the lines open a little bit, though I don't think I'm going to have that much time because I have these reels I want to get to that I think will be pretty great. And I have to get off the show tonight in about, I don't know, 35 minutes, 40 minutes max. 8:55 I got to be off because I have to go to Matt Christiansen's channel. But yeah, yes, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. You guys know that I start my day off with keto brains and the coffee, but how I end the day has not been the same since the crew at Verso. I met them last year when we were planning the Jamboree, and they came on to sponsor us, and they had such a great time meeting the audience. They gave so much stuff away at the Jamboree, like so many of our wonderful sponsors did. You should have seen it. The people that showed up at the Jamboree, where there's like a whole... There's just a tables from wall to wall, thousands of dollars worth of stuff, and people can just, I want to try that. Full bags of stuff, not even sample packs. It was incredible. Wonderful people, high quality. Anyway, we've got Verso is on with us this month, and it's so great to have them back. Their evening being product is what I want to tell you about. Magtine, alpha wave L-theanine, that's partly what's in the keto brains. They work together to calm the anxiety centers of your brain. The glycine, the saffron, that's where it gets to the wonderful saffron color. Physically cool your body. They cool it down. I'm telling you especially about this one. It cools your body down significantly so that you don't wake up as much in the night. And it ensures that when you do wake up, you'll actually feel like you slept. And I mix a scoop of this stuff into cold water, but it can be also in hot water if you want. And it's got this beautiful saffron color, a delicious taste to match it. Verso, VER.SO. The link is in the description. Use promo code Frankly for 15% off your first order. There's so much great stuff in their product line, but this is the one that I have used the most. And so I'm going to love it down first. That is the evening being product. Fantastic for sleep. It really is. So keto brains in the morning, stay hydrated, and this, when I get home tonight, and then I'll ruin it by going and sitting down and saying, you know what, I got a little bit of time. Let me play a little bit of MLB The Show or something. And then I lose a baseball game in agonizing fashion. I thought I'll just have a relaxing baseball game with the last bits of energy I have left. And I poison myself with rage. Rage. Go to bed angry. That's what will happen. So I just won't play it. I'll just drink the evening being. Check them out. All right. Two Dogs says, and for the silver and the gold backs, I'm here for you, Frank. Well, thank you, dog. Jay Britt says, damn, Frank, what a week. I'm ready for some fart jokes. Me too. They're coming. Don't go anywhere. Joe Martinez, thank you. Let's see here. Mr. Smith says, email you. I email you stairs in the woods. You found stairs in the woods? Yo, if anybody out there has encountered stairs in the woods, are very important topic that goes back years on this show, many years. It's been a long time since we talked about stairs in the woods, like staircases that go to nowhere. Okay, I'll check that out, Mr. Smith. Thank you. Eli P says, Bryan was great tonight. What a mind blow. Right there, I thought I knew all the rabbit holes. This was fantastic. Best show on the internet, Frank. Thank you, Eli. Gribble Sillin says, thanks, Frank. Thank you, Gribble. He says, I thoroughly enjoy the directions you're able to take us in. Well, I thoroughly enjoy the sharp cheddar cheese that I need to order more of through you. So get in touch with me in the email, Gribble, because Aurora said, can I have some sharp cheddar cheese? I said, honey, we ate all that. We ate many pounds of cheddar cheese. I have to get in touch with my friend Gribble Sillin again. Let's see here. Ricky says, thanks, Frank. Thanks, Frank. Dude talked me into it. Talked you into what? Ashley Snow says, singing for the silver. I love it. And Dude from 1965 says, just a little support. You rock, Frank. Let's all give just a little support tonight because Frank asked. Come on, man. Well, only if you feel so inclined. I'm very appreciative always, but thank you. Spicy Chemist on Twitch. Just resubscribed through Prime for 3 months. Thank you, Spicy. I'm going to start streaming a lot more on Twitch at night. Just to keep your notifications on, Twitch people. I'll just start popping in more often. Whenever I don't do a big gaming stream, I'll just pop in and I'll go on Call of Duty tonight just to hang out with you guys. Shotzi says, sending some midweek love from the Midwest, I hope. There you go. Okay, over on Rumble, and we're getting right into these reels. Over on Rumble, Haywood says, I'm agnostic because I believe they gave you a God to separate you from God. And demoralize you for being imperfect, when in fact you and I are God. Oh, I've heard those lines. I've heard that before. I know there's a lot of people out there who believe it. Religions are the cause of the world's problems, just how they designed it. We could talk about that one night. Is religion the cause of all the world's problems? I mean, you can say that religion has less and less to do with the world's special interests right now, especially in the first world. In the first world, it is almost like, natural daylight to a vampire when you talk religiously, especially if it's Christianity. You can say some religions from the third world have been used as a weapon in what is now an increasingly atheistic, agnostic first world. So, I mean, there's elements of that, but is that really just the cut and dried story of it all? We can talk about that. I have something else I want to bring up. Awakened Boomer says, hey, Frank, great show as always. Great guest. Yeah, Bryan was fantastic. I'm so glad that we did this tonight. Other Side of the Mountain says, the ziggurat existed in Iran and was built in honor of Zoroaster, who was adamantly opposed to human sacrifice. His teachings were very close to those of Christ. So, the exception, not the rule? Awakened Boomer says, just had a thought. Is AI the new Tower of Babel? That's a good one. That's a good question. That is a good question. And over on Pilled, we got Deansy. Frank, I'd like to bounce one of those quarters off of your ass. Damn. The hell is going on here tonight? Safety Net says LMAO. I guess that's he's talking about the Hillary Clinton thing last night. Delona said, what about Paul Mall? You know what, Delona? I wouldn't even try. Paul Mall. Get one of those local cigarettes. The raw zigzag paper. Just don't use the zigzag paper. I know those papers very well. Not Your Mom says, have a great Wednesday. Doodah Man says, gold and silver. Got here late. Gonna have to listen to the replay. Thank you, Kobe. Thank you, AC. And thank you, Andrea D. Okay. 822. Let's do some reels, shall we? Here's the first one. Okay. Now, most of these have been submitted by a member of the audience or a close friend who are probably in group chats with me. Here, America under the patriarchy versus feminism and mass immigration.
I won't lose no sleep all night, 'cause I've got a plan.
Okay. 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 Now listen, as a rule, I write down some of the captions and I try not to watch these. So most of these I'm watching for the first time with you. And I like that one. Okay. All right, let's see. France surrender. This seems like altered video. Just putting that out there. Altered video. It was sent to me with a disclaimer.
In a surprise development, France has surrendered amid the Israel-Iran conflict. Let's go to Trere for the latest.
That's right, Raj. They surrendered last night. They just don't know to who yet.
In a surprise
That's a very French thing to do. Surrender to anybody. And then, of course, this pops up because I had seen that, and then the algorithm was just like, give him more French bashing. And it is a quote. It's an old quote from General Norman Schwarzkopf, who said, going to war without France is like going hunting without an accordion. And I thought that was nice. That's a great quote. That's a really great quote. All right, a little bit more. Okay, this is, the captions are on the video. Germany watching 13 plus countries fighting right now, starting World War III without them.
What? But you can't do this to me. I started this company. You know how much I sacrificed?
Yeah, you got to let them in the fight. You got to let them in the fun here. You can't just let Germany stay aside when another world war is popping up. World War III without Germany? That's ridiculous. Oh, by the way, Baby Punch, the neglected, bullied Japanese monkey, has been drafted and deployed to fight in Iran. He will join U.S.-Israeli forces, they are reporting, so they've given him a little bit more purpose out there. This monkey keeps getting the shit kicked out of him. It doesn't end. It doesn't end for this monkey. Poor little thing. I'm like, well, okay, you know what? Everybody's like, I swear to God, I'm going to go over there. I'm going to beat the shit out of the other monkeys who are beating up on this one. I'm like, how could everybody, in every last monkey in that pen, be doing the same thing? What if Baby Punch is being a little bitch? Is that just a bridge too far? Maybe he's saying some very disparaging things under his breath. Baby Punch is being deployed to fight in Iran. Somebody in the comments says, then I am too. I'm going with him. Don't send that cute baby. What's this? Israel fighting the urge to sink an American aircraft carrier and blame it on Iran. Hold it, please. No, control yourself. Control yourself. Please control yourself. All right. This is another one. This one I did see because it's just so short. The whole thing played without me wanting to. How it feels to not have a feed with naked women in it and instead have a feed loaded with racism, bigotry, and homophobia. Yes, it's very classy. It's very compared to the naked. It's better than having the asses, the gigantic, out of control asses jiggling around and clapping in your face unexpectedly. It took a couple of weeks to finally that was a long time ago. I remember when I realized, wow, there's no more unwanted nudity. That was a while ago. And now, of course, there are dinner jackets and there are dinner jackets. This is the latter. Yeah, then I feel like I have a dinner jacket on when I'm on Instagram every night. James fucking Bond. This I did watch, and you got to read it, and it's awesome. And if you are a fan of The Big Lebowski, I don't know how the hell anybody really came up with this and said, I have an idea. I have an idea, and I'm going to edit this one down. I'm going to edit this one down, and it's going to be perfect. This is the Jeffrey Epstein timeline explained through a supercut of the movie The Big Lebowski. And it starts off in 1995. Exploited girls Okay, you just got to read along. I can't stop it and talk to you. And podcast people, I'm sorry. It's 1 minute of being bewildered. You're going to have to put up with until you just go and watch it yourself, because I think it's really well done. Take a look.
I'll suck your for $1,000.
I'm sorry, I wasn't listening.
Now, so far, we have what appears to me to be a series of victimless crimes.
What about the toe? Forget about the fucking toe! Ow. Stay out of Malibu, deadbeat!
They're gonna kill that poor woman, man.
What the fuck are you talking about? That poor slut kidnapped herself.
You got any promising leads or?
Yeah, sure. They got us working in shifts.
Oh, fuck it.
Is this your homework, Larry?
This is a bummer, man.
You're entering a world of pain, son. We know that this is your homework. And we know that this is your homework.
We're gonna cut your dick off. Nothing is fucked here.
Nothing is fucked!
No, man.
The goddamn plane has crashed into the mountain! Do you see what happens, Larry, when you fuck a stranger in the ass? What happens, Larry?
Por el camino del desierto, el viento me despeina.
Wow. First of all, I'm going to have to watch that 2 or 3 more times this weekend now, just because I've got the bug. I've been bit by the bug. That was such a great cut. That was such a great cut. I mean, they got everything down. Yeah, Kilo Alpha Tango says, I don't watch that movie enough. No, you don't. That rug really tied the room together. And he peed on it. Oh, man. So there's that. You know, I'll drop that into the Discord, and I'll drop that into the Telegram if you want to watch it over and over again, like I do. Okay. Well, listen. This was sent to me, and there's really not that much left. There's really not much to really... It's all in the caption, this one. And unfortunately, I scanned through it, and I read it. And it's one of those captions that really make me wish I didn't know how to read. So take a look at this. It says, I can't believe it. When I'm backshotting neo-Nazi shawty, so good. I spiritually connect with my grandfather and he starts giving me comms. So my backshot rhythm matches the machine gun fire rhythm that took him out in the concentration camps during the Holocaust. I can confidently say that this is the only time this sentence has ever been written. I can confidently say that this is the only time that this sentence has ever been written in the history of the world. It is a completely original sentence. It is not derivative at all. And the guy, because it certainly was a guy who wrote it, clicked post. He clicked post. I got to give him credit. When I'm back shotting neo-Nazi, look, I connect with my. I don't know. I'm fascinated by stuff like this. I really am, because I want to know more about the person who wrote it. That's just incredible. Now, 8:32. We have just enough time to do this. I'm starting to wonder whether or not I should do it tonight, or whether I should save it for Jay Gulanello tomorrow and we have more time to really stretch out with it. But this was one, I think I'll crack it open tonight. We only have a couple more minutes left. I should probably get off around 8:45 so I don't make Matt Christiansen shit a brick. I'll just start the flip side a little bit early tonight. But here is a preview of what I want to talk to you guys about tomorrow. So I'm going to give you time to email me what you think needs to be on this list. because I already started making a list. Here is the real. Millennials barely fazed by the 14th once-in-a-lifetime crisis of our adult lives. Yes. Okay. I said, we really have been through a lot. A lot of shit has happened before turning 40. A lot of shit has happened before turning 40. And for the millennials out there, this is what I want you guys to do for tonight. I'm gonna prompt this again tomorrow, but I want to make sure that we have people who have been able to think this one out. I have a list I've already been building, and I'm not going to say it because I think it'd be better if I just throw it out there with you guys. But everything that we have seen and we've gone through before hitting 40, where I'm going to be 41 on April 2nd. So let's just think about that. I thought that was a wonderful topic, which should be easy for a lot of people in this audience to participate in and to be able to contribute to. So write it down. You can email me. You can also send me a voicemail. If you ever want to send a voicemail to the show to comment on something from the night before, or if you know a topic is coming up and you want to contribute to it, but you don't watch live, you can go to SpeakPipe. That's SpeakPipe.com/quite frankly. You can leave a maximum 90-second voicemail, goes right to the Quite Frankly email address, and I'll have it for the next day. Throw it at me. That's all I'm saying on that end, okay? All right, so let me see. Let's take some calls. 914-200-0269 on this night, brought to you by Verso. Can't wait to go home and have a nice chilly glass of that wonderfully yellow, tangy evening being. I can feel it. Let's see, 914-200-0269. We only have a couple minutes left, so you call in and you just drop me a line. Tell me what you think is, what was your favorite part of tonight's show? What was your favorite part of tonight's show? I have quite a few favorite parts, but we can kind of, trade with each other. Let's trade chips. 914-200-0269. We've got Jay Semo that says, "Cheers, Frank." That's over on Rumble. I'm going to read this. JDBGQ1 says, "Learned about the Ashkenazi Jews in human biology. If they try to procreate with each other, then survival chances are minimal. Genetics are no bueno." With procreating with each other? So then how does that 92% thing, how does that 92% thing work out? I don't get that. That means that for survival, you would have to continually dilute your own genetic pool. That's entropy right there. Comes to play. Twisted Clown says, baby punch, doo-doo. Thank you, Twisted Clown. Twown. 2-Yard Ape says, more air conditioner cash. Good show, mate. Well, thank you. Thank you for coming back, everybody. Thank you for coming back every night. Tomorrow should be a great one. Let's see here. Steve Ellis says, can't keep the historical conspiracy straight. No. That's why I'm saying, listen, I've retained a lot. I still read a lot. I'm still trying to, make better sense of things. You turn things into a story, you remember it better. You think about all the useless information about things that never happened, like Star Wars. You're interested in it. It's a compelling story. Well, there's no more compelling story than our story. And there's a director's cut We're trying to find out the director's cut of our story. Okay, we want to see the director's cut. That's what I want to see. And that's tough. There's a lot more missing than 24 minutes, like Kubrick's Eyes Wide Shut. But yeah, sometimes you just can't. You just got to say noted. Like I said, noted. I don't disbelieve you. And I'm sure that something of the sort fits into the grand scheme in some place that maybe we can't even conceive of at the moment. But right now, I just want to have this coffee and chill out. I cannot talk about your 23andMe profile right now. I just need to have this coffee. And I'm going to go mow the lawn. I'm going to pull some weeds. And I'm going to split the hostas. And then I'm going to go to Home Depot and I'm going to pick out what we are growing in our little, I don't know, in our little raised bed. Let's make a raised bed garden. Going to have some tomatoes, some cucumbers. And I just don't want to hear about anything right now. You know those days? I know you know those days. Star Karma says, great show. Great show, you guys. Amber in Alberta. All the best to everybody up there in Alberta, especially Amber. Thanks, Frank, for all you do, says Veek. Well, thank you, Veek. Thank you for sending a super chat through quitefranklysuperchat.com. Let's see here. Berserking History Buffalo says, Buffalo Dustin here, Frank. Great cast per usual. Buffalo Dustin? Where the hell have you been? Holy shit. What has that been? What has it been? Years? Why? Running on Empty says, Bryan's new video last night, the Iron Dome is fake. Interesting. I was going to bring that up tonight. But what that, I mean, first of all, I've always had suspicions about the Iron Dome. I was like, interesting concept. You mean just a missile defense system? So it's like, do you have no clue the complexity of the Iron Dome? Like, what is the Iron Dome in Israel better than what the United States has over here? And it's like, here comes a rocket and another rocket goes up to meet it. And then apparently the Iron Dome is worth shit against something that's hypersonic. And hypersonic missiles have been around for years now. So why all of the bragging about the Iron Dome? I bet you, I wouldn't be surprised if the Iron Dome is nonsense. It's just like a basic missile defense system, or maybe it's an above average missile defense system that does not cost nearly as much as the money that is provided to maintain it, so that it could be siphoned off to do other things. I wouldn't be surprised. I saw Bryan's post there, but I wouldn't be surprised. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's everything it's cracked up to be too. Noted. All right, let's see here. Let's see. Twisted Clown says, super chats are active? Gay. Well, yeah. Well, it's actually been a huge savior. It showed up last April, 5 years to the day after they were taken away what I thought was permanently. They came back. And it has been a savior. Really has. Because with the algorithm changes, there was a lot of things crazy. So thank you for everybody who has just sponsored the show on a nightly basis through your super chats, wherever they are. Even if it is on Google. 70% of, 30% off the top of something is better than nothing. I always say save your really big super chats for quitefranklysuperchat.com. But if you're sending $5, $10, $20, use whatever. But the big ones, I would go right through Streamlabs. Let's see. Wart Guy says, I try to remember to say quick grace before every cigar. Yeah, you have to do that now. Bless us, O Lord, and these thy gifts which we are about to receive from thy bounty through Christ our Lord. Amen. That's before every cigar, I'll do that now. That's going to be really fun. Actually, it'll be satisfying. I love Aurora. She's very good at saying grace. She's become quite adept at it. She loves it too. She actually calls everybody attention to it. Everybody, we forgot to pray. And for the silver and gold backs, thank you so much. Okay. Now we're getting away. Al Julian, let me take a call over here. Let's go. 845, you're on the air. What's going on, New York?
Yo, what's up there, Frankie? I got a question. Well, I got something for you to give to Jay Dyer.
Okay.
There's a movie that I've watched a number of times, and it's shown on TCM probably 4 or 5 times a year, whatever. It's called Being There. Have you ever seen it?
No.
So, yeah, you got to watch this. You got to watch it from that. You'll fucking love it. Dude, it's excellent. So, anyway, the doctor in that movie looks exactly like Sidney Pollack in Eyes Wide Shut. And I never got this before, and it blew my fucking mind while I was watching it yesterday. And I started to put together certain things from Being There and Eyes Wide Shut. So maybe I've never heard Jay talk about this before, but it might be something to blow his head up with. God bless.
Wait. What I was going to say is email it to me, because I know that I'd like to have Jay on sometime soon, just one-on-one to catch up and do all that stuff. But I know that on, at least right now, March 31st, I have Jay and Timothy Gordon coming on, because I wanted to do something with both of them. But maybe this could give me a reason to invite him back sooner. So send me an email about the movie.
Yeah, I'll just give you the Being There. You got to watch it before you talk to him about it. And my big takeaway, the thing that really blew my mind up, was that Sidney Pollack, the doctor in Being There, which is this movie, bro, once you watch it, if you watch to the whole end, it ends with pyramids. I'm not kidding you. It ends with pyramids.
Okay. Being There.
All right, brother.
Thank you, sir.
You're rocking and rolling. God bless you.
Take care. Bless you as well. 1979 satirical comedy drama starring Peter Sellers, Shirley MacLaine, Melvin Douglas. Based on a 1970 novel, Being There, by Jerry Kaczynski. The plot: a middle-aged, simple-minded Chance, the guy's name is Chance, lives in a wealthy old man's townhouse in Washington, D.C., along with the man's African-American maid, Louise, who is kind to Chance. He has spent his whole life tending the garden and never left the property. Other than gardening, his knowledge is derived entirely from television. When the old man dies, the estate lawyers order Chance out. He wanders aimlessly, discovering outside world for the first time. An African-American youth points a knife at him. Chance in effect. Well, this is the actual, just how what's going on here. So you're just going to give me a little bit of the, okay, I will watch it. Being There. Hold on. Peter Sellers. All right. Well, I'll take a look at it. I will take a look at it. All right. I'm gonna bounce over to the flip side right now, because I have to call up Matt Christiansen. I'm going to be doing his show from 9 to 9:30. So you can either go to the Matt Christiansen YouTube channel, or you can go over to quitefrankly.tv or pilled.net, and you can watch like my perspective of the whole thing. You won't see the full production, but you'll hear like the behind the scenes banter before the show starts. And then I'll just stay on for maybe 5 minutes of extended flip side with you guys afterwards. But that's what we will be doing right now. Man, what a great show this was tonight. I'm so happy about it. I really just love those bounce back shows. Let's see here. Come to the flip side. Shit. That's not the right. Here it is. I like these bounce. It wasn't a bounce back show. Come to the flip side right now. Or go over to Quite Matt Christiansen over on his YouTube. And again, go in the link tonight, because our wonderful sponsors of Verso are back. And I'm telling you, if you are starting to build up your daily regimens of these awesome things from wonderful companies that are really just thinking about clean states of being and longevity and brain health and everything else, body optimization, keto brains, hydration, and of course, now at the end, this is how I've been ending my nights since August of last year. evening being. You remember Jay Gulanello loves the morning being. So I'll talk about that at some point. I'll have him talk about it with our next plug. But I'm so happy to have them on. This show needs all the support in the world to do what we got to do. And I'm excited about it. I'm excited about everything. Have to be. And I can't wait to share more and more with you guys. Some really wonderful things are happening right now. And I'll see you on the flip side. Thank you guys for everything. Thank you to the mods for doing a wonderful job. And I'll 7 o'clock tomorrow. We doing this thing. Nighty.
I'll catch you on the flip side.
Quite Frankly is filmed before a live studio audience. Now, our super chatters, thank you to all of you guys and gals. It's been wonderful. Al Julian says, Francis, one of the original X-Men here. Billy Joel, we didn't start the fire. It's been going on before your generation. Yeah, well, still, our run has been pretty chaotic. Star Karma, thank you. Veek, LDB, Twisted Clown, 2 Yard, Cebus, Steve, Berserking, Running on Empty, Twisted Clown, Warp Guy, Jay Brits, all of our wonderful people over there on Twitch, Shotzi, and all the rest. You guys have been wonderful. I'll get to those gold pills in a bit. Kobe Wan and so many other people are just loving me down in there, and it's just a wonderful feeling. I'll see you guys tomorrow, but the night's not over.
How'd it go?
What does it take to get some fucking smoked turkey in this house, huh?
What?
I bust my ass all day long and I come home and want a little smoked turkey. Is that too fucking much to ask?
What the fuck is your problem?
Everything but fucking turkey in here.
Will you shut up?
No.